Hey guys, so I'm just gonna make this kind of a quick webinar. I saw a message in the Savvy Business Owners Facebook group about this girl Kate was asking like the best way to work with clients in Squarespace. So I'm just gonna kind of explain how I do it. Um, there's a couple different ways to do it, so I'll tell you how I do it, and then I'll also show how you can do it if you need more time than what my way kind of allows. So if you haven't already created a website in Squarespace for your client, you're going to want to create a trial account. So if you've never used Squarespace before, you're just doing it for the client, you'll need to create a trial account with your own email and your own password. You can do that. Actually, let me switch the screen share so that way you guys can see what's going on here. Okay, so here's Squarespace. What you'll want to do is click on this Get Started. I hope this is showing. Is this showing? Yes. Okay, so you're going to want to click on this Get Started, and you'll be able to create a trial account. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through this to kind of give you an example. So I'm going to choose this layout. I'm going to click on Start with this design, and it will give you the option to either log in or create an account. I'm going to sign into my existing account because I have one, but you would just create one, and you don't need a credit card or anything. It's a free 14-day trial. So I'm going to sign in here, and I'm sorry, my connection is pretty terrible right now for some reason. Normally it will not take that long. Okay, so from here, this is where you can build your client's site. It'll take you through kind of the Squarespace tutorials, how to get started. So if you're new to that, that's really helpful. And FYI, this doesn't have to be for a client. If you're making one for yourself, this will work the same exact way. So you'll be able to build your site, do everything like you're supposed to. If you need help with that, just let me know. I have a whole blog post about it at noraconrad.com. But basically, once you build the site, you have 14 days to build it, edit it, all that good stuff. And then all you have to do is transfer it over. So what you want to do is go into Settings, go into Permissions, and invite a contributor. You can also add a basic author. Process is the same thing. When you add an author, you're going to, oh, that's weird. Okay, so maybe you can't click on that. There we go. So you're going to want to invite a contributor. You'll want to add their name and their email address, which will basically create an account for them. And you want to give them permission to edit everything. That is if you want them to be able to edit everything. If you just want them to add the billing information, just give them access to that. That way you can continue to work on your site. So if you need more than the 14-day free trial allows, have them fill out their billing information. They'll be able to pay for their services, and then you can continue working on it. Once you're done with the website, you want to give them permission for everything. And then you can go ahead and click Save. Obviously, I'm not going to do that right now because I'm not actually sharing this website with anyone. So I'm going to hit Cancel, maybe. Oh, weird. Okay, so once you've done that, they'll have access to the site. And at that point, I don't know why this is not exiting. Come on. Let's refresh. So once you've added them, they'll get an email saying an account is created for them. They'll be able to get on Squarespace. They can create a password for themselves, create a little profile. And then what you'll be able to do is click on this Transfer Ownership. You'll be able to choose one of the contributors. It's not going to let me show you the menu because there's no contributor. But all you have to do is give the ownership to the other person. You'll still have access to everything on the site until the new owner removes you. So if you want them to have access and then you can edit it, that works as well. Let's say that your client doesn't have anything set up. They don't have a domain name, they don't have an email, none of that. I'm just going to show you the easiest and cheapest way to do this if you want to set it up through Squarespace. If you don't want to set it up through Squarespace, set it up through something like register.com, Bluehost, GoDaddy, something like that. But I think that using Google is the cheapest and quickest way to do it. So still in your settings menu, you'll want to click on email. and you'll want to click on Upgrade Now. This will take you to the Google Apps page, which will kind of look like this. Google Apps for Work is what we'll be using to make the email and the domain name. So you can click on Get Started, and you'll be able to fill out their business information. Make sure you're using their business. Fill out another email address for them, some kind of alternate. I'm just going to fill this out, some of my info, so that way we can kind of go through this. Gnome? That's not a word. Just fill all this stuff out and then click Next. And right here you'll want to choose Buy a New Domain Name Now. You start off at $8 a year depending on what you buy. A .com is $12 a year, so let's say they want to name it super cool website for you.com. You can check the availability and all of that good stuff here. You're going to need their address information to put all of that stuff in. And once you do that, it'll take you through step-by-step setting up your domain name, and then you'll be able to create an email address. I'm not going to set this up completely, obviously, because I don't need it. So I'm going to log into my Google Work apps so that way I can show you how to add an email. So once you've created a domain name, you'll be able to sign into Google Apps for Work just by clicking here. And you can have your client do this, or you can set it up for them, but you will need their billing information if you set it up for them. So then all you have to do is enter your domain name and make sure this is on admin console. Click on the Go button. I'll ask you, this probably, okay, let's try that again. It will ask you to sign into your Google account, which you'll need a Google account once you're logged in. Otherwise, it'll just take you right to your admin. And then from here, you'll be able to add users. So you want to click on this little user icon, and this is how you're going to add new email accounts. You can add a new user, and every new user is $5 per user per month. So I pay $5 right now for my email address through Google Apps. I don't have my domain through them, so I don't know the total price per month. But if you were paying for the .com domain plus one email, that'd be about $17 a month, added on to the regular Squarespace pricing, which starts at $12 a month or $8 a month for a year, and then it goes up from there. Okay, let's switch back here. Stop sharing. Okay, so that's kind of how I work with clients. If for some reason you've already created a Squarespace site for them, and maybe you were already on a trial account, or maybe you even paid for the billing and you need to transfer that over to them, if you already put in your billing information, you can't remove it. You have to have a new billing address to override it. So what I would suggest doing is getting your client's billing information and putting that in for them. That way they don't see any of your billing information. Or you can just transfer the site over to them like I showed you, and they can then cover up the billing information. The only downside is that then they don't cover up the billing information, you have no way to access it, and you're paying for their website. So that's why I think it's better to use the trial period to create that website. You have 14 days. So if you get all of the content ready and all of the copy and all of the graphics, all you have to do is put it into Squarespace. And honestly, that should only take you a couple of days. If it takes you more than 14 days, then you can just have them add their own billing information like I showed you. Okay, so I think that's everything. That's kind of how you start your own Squarespace site. I'm going to switch over and just make sure there's no questions in here. Okay, and there's Kaylee's watching it in Crowdcast, and then I have 5 random people watching it from YouTube. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, ask me right now. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll probably just wait for a minute. If you guys need any help at all with Squarespace, if you need more Squarespace tutorials or whatever, you can go to www.noraconrad, my name.com/blog/Squarespace. and I have an entire post that takes you through literally everything Squarespace related. So yeah, and I don't think there's any questions. If you guys have questions and you're not watching this video live, you can email me, hello@noraconrad.com, or just ask me a question in the Savvy Business Owners Facebook group. Other than that, I think that's everything. Thanks, you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.